All right. It looks like we're live. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Alexi. I'll be emceeing the session about to unfold. We are playing Magical Multiverse Tour Bite Marks Innistrad Howlpack Session 2 of 4. So, this is a game organized through the Gauntlet gaming community. You can learn all about the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com or check out the Gauntlet on Twitter at GauntletRPG. It's a community playing indie tabletop role-playing games online. This coming weekend, we have a Gauntlet community open gaming, which is a great time for folks to check out what the Gauntlet is all about and get a taste of playing with the Gauntlet for free. So definitely follow the Gauntlet and learn about Gauntlet community open gaming. The game we're playing is Bite Marks. Bite Marks is a game of werewolf pack drama by Becky Ennison, published by Black Armada. And we are playing Bite Marks set on the plane of Innistrad. Innistrad is a location from the lore of Magic the Gathering, the card game. It is the gothic horror plane. So in addition to werewolves, this world plays host to vampires, spirits, zombies, and other undead ghosts and ghoulies. So our main characters are all werewolves, but they exist in this gothic horror world where the humans are aware of the terrible things that go bump in the night and are suspicious, and our werewolves have to keep their werewolf nature secret from the humans they interact with, else they will run into those torch and pitchfork building mobs, or perhaps more frighteningly the official inquisitors from the Church of Avacyn, which has gone through a bit of a religious crisis, but still is pretty committed to stamping out monsters. So that is our setting. That's a little bit about the world we're playing in. This is part of my series Magical Multiverse Tour, where I use a variety of role-playing games to explore different worlds from Magic the Gathering. Of course, to play or to watch, you don't need to know stuff about the world already. We'll discover things and create things in play. We're just turning to it for a little bit of inspiration, and also feeling pretty free to make our own canon here. Let's meet the players we have. I'd love for everyone to introduce themselves with name and pronouns if you wish, online handle if you so desire, and anything else folks should know just about you, the player. I'll start off. I'm Alexi, he, him. You can follow all of my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. So definitely check out Cloven Pine Games on itch.io or on Twitter at Cloven Pine Games to learn about the games I've designed and the games I'm getting to run and play in great settings like this. Brandon, tell us a little about yourself first.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I've been with the Gauntlet for about 1.5 years, and I love games with heavy interpersonal material, best of all. So
nice. Glad to have you here. Steven, you're up next.
Hey there, I'm Steven, he, him. Actually, a bit similar to Alexi. I am running a reading club here on the Gauntlet, where we take books and then use role-playing games to sort of emulate their tone and setting. We're doing Cosmo Nights, going to be doing The Chosen and the Beautiful next. By Nevo, and if you want to look up any of those videos, just look up Steven Alligator and you'll be able to find it.
Fantastic. Rich Rogers has his long-running Star Wars Saturday series on the Gauntlet, but I think we're gonna prove that you don't have to be rich and you don't have to be set in the Star Wars galaxy to have some fun thematically linked series that allow people to delve deeply into their particular passions and interests in Gauntlet games. Last but not least, Kyle, tell us about yourself.
I'm Kyle, he, they. Also a big fan of story games. I guess I'm in a long-running Passions de la Pasiones, the telenovela RPG. It's pretty fun.
I'm very pumped because this weekend, my wife and I are both playing in a session of Pasión de las Pasiones that's part of Mountlet Community Open Gaming, and happens to be on our anniversary weekend. So should be a wonderful time. I'm looking forward to it. And Kyle, great to have you. Let's now meet our characters. Last time around, we created these characters and their pack with its traditions and its culture and everything. So let's do a little reminder of who these characters are. Oh, and I should say we have a fourth player who's part of our series, Harry, but he sadly couldn't be here for this session. So we expect to have him back next week, and his character will be somewhat off screen during the events of this session. But I'm sure we can figure out what sort of human business he was caught up in, because he was playing the Fixer, the member of the pack who interfaces with the human world most. But yes, let's meet our other werewolves, the rest of our pack. Brandon, will you tell us about your werewolf?
Of course. My character's name is Serafina, and she is the alpha. She is someone who manages the pack through a combination of cajoling and stern maternal devotion. She has had a number of cubs within the pack, some of whom have died, some of whom have gone away, but she doesn't play favorites with anybody. She was forced to exile her own pack member for breaking the covenants of the pack, and since then she has longed for a new mate. But her desires are secondary, or so she says. She is not the largest member of the pack by any means, but she makes up for it with ferocity. And she has a listen first style, except in dire emergencies. She is slow to anger, but when she stops speaking and becomes notably silent, watch out for the explosion. She has taken a hard line on careless or self-indulgent behavior that puts the pack at risk.
Yes, absolutely, and we will find out, if any of the pack mates cross that line. Obviously, the game being what it is, it's quite possible they will. Steven, if you tell us about your werewolf next.
Hey there. Yeah, I am playing Brooke, they, them, the pack's midwife, and the Grey Pelt. They have been part of this pack for a long time. I think that my apprentice was related to that whole thing that went down with Serafina banishing one of our pack members.
Yeah.
I think the last we saw me, I was shouting angrily at a gate.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well,
you and Serafina both, I think, were kind of being barred entrance.
Serafina was just angry at a gate. I was shouting angrily at it, I think, is the difference.
Okay. Yeah. The town of Ramsgate is a human settlement that you were arriving at, in human form, in your normal kind of human cover identities as traveling tinkers, and the gate was barred before you, and the mayor was not receptive to letting you in. So we will pick up and see how Serafina and Brooke react to that setback. Anything else we should know about Brooke?
I mean, I guess I'll end. I'm disappointed in the rest of this pack, as only a parent can be. The more disappointed I am in you, the more I love you. Don't worry.
You did pick the parental heartbeat as a an XP trigger for your wolf. That's great. All right, so then the other wolf we have in this session is yours, Kyle. Tell us about your werewolf.
I'm playing Alice, the Howl, the sort of spiritual center of the pack, which is interesting because I am pretty strongly opposed to some of the big pack traditions, like killing any human who knows our deal, or that we're wolves.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you have this philosophy that there's a real, way of, being human and werewolf without that being a contradiction.
Mm-hmm. And
Excited,
yeah, last
excited to
session,
explore that.
last session, I wandered off with a NPC pack member. I think it was Amsel, right?
Yeah, Brooke's apprentice.
To investigate a weird body we found, and then a monster attacked.
Yeah, a big undead monstrosity turned up. The sort of thing that can happen on Innistrad, but you hope doesn't happen to you. I'm excited to find out how all of that goes. I guess we should real quick just remind ourselves of some of the key things about the pack that we decided. So we mentioned these pack traditions that have the force of really sacred law, right? Any human who knows our secret must be killed. Our territory is sacred. Any violation must be repaid. A new werewolf cannot be created without an existing werewolf being ritually killed. And Serafina's old mate, Georgie, failed to fulfill that tradition and therefore was exiled, which itself was maybe a too light punishment, possibly. And our fixer has secretly violated a tradition, but the only one who knows about that is Alice, who knows the secret, through kind of observation and deduction, not through confiding it in her. We have these pieces of slang, so let's remember to pepper those in occasionally, right? A sheepskin is a werewolf who spends too much time trying to fit in with humanity. A feral, meanwhile, is a wolf that's given into their wild nature and gone savage. The kindred, or more formally, the moonkin, is the werewolf's term for themselves. A human can be derisively nicknamed a grass eater. The becoming is the first transformation, or I guess it's transformation broadly. The first transformation is very special, but all of them can be the becoming. Feeling the balance is reaching out with your wolf senses, and the wolf call. That's what giving the gift of werewolfism is, right? That's the invitation to run with the pack. Anything else people want to highlight about pack traditions before we charge in?
Just a reminder that we get that for XP, you get an XP for acting on your heartbeats, but you also get an XP at the end of a scene if you've acted on pack culture.
Nice. I love it. And I think if folks can help me out by calling that out a little bit, that's great, right? Even if it's just like in the chat, hey, do I get XP for such and such? That is handy. I'll try to remember to call it out too, but I invite you all to do so. Say like, hey, we really hit that custom there, huh? Cool. Then I think I'm ready to drop in and check in first at the gate of Ramsgate, where Serafina and Brooke have been barred out. Right, like the gate was shut. The mayor was standing there, kind of explaining that can't be too careful in these times, and they'd appreciate it if you take your cart elsewhere. And Serafina, you were riding in the cart, yes?
Yes, I mean at one point, and then we got out to.
I see. So now you're more kind of negotiating through the gate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saying so this is ridiculous. What are you so terrified of? That you would bar good travelers. And if there is something to be frightened of, you would close us out and leave us in the cold.
We've got
to be taken unawares by whatever this is that has so cozened you.
We've got to watch out for our people. My first responsibility is to the town of Ramsgate. I'm sure you can understand that.
I mean, it sounds like Serafina's trying to dominate here.
I think
Oh
so.
yes, yeah. You can certainly roll to try to dominate an NPC. Give me just a little more of how she's doing that, right? Like how do we tell? Observing Serafina in human form facing down this human mayor. How do we tell that she is kind of asserting her will in this way?
Um, she has she's not tall, but she has a strong ringing voice that
Hmm.
she has pitched up. She has thrust out her chin, and she is glaring at him with a with a look that has made more than one person turn away just to get out from underneath the ferocity of that gaze.
Yeah. Okay.
She is.
You
There's a hint of there are worse things out there than whatever it is that you're afraid of. And if you'd like me to acquaint you with them, I would be too happy to do so. But she doesn't
I
say that.
see. So the threat is all veiled, but it's present.
Well, they're being, they're being, yes, they may be, they're being cowards, and she's calling them out.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
it's like unless they think us a threat, in which case they're fools.
Sure.
So
Sure.
take your pick. But she doesn't.
w-
Again, none of this is voiced. It's all in tone.
When you order someone or several people to do something they object to doing, roll plus teeth.
It falls on deaf ears, boy.
Let me actually get into the rolling room. Did you go ahead and
I rolled up 5,
roll those
even
dice?
with a
Oof.
+2.
Oof.
Great way to start.
Okay. Let's see. On a
By the way,
0
do
to
you have any pack pool? Not that I'm going to use any.
you don't start out with any. I think
Okay.
you have to build it up.
That's fine.
A number of moves gives you ways to do it. There's ways to get it out of spill. There's ways to get it from giving into the wolf as you assume your wolf form.
Right.
And there may be playbook specific things to do as
I
well.
I just didn't know whether the scenario started with any. Anyway, please pray continue.
Oh, and I'm being merciful also. You during the last session you rolled State of the Pack, your start of session move, and I'm letting that carry forward because you rolled well on that. I don't need to make you re-roll, given that we really only got to play briefly at the end of our last session after character and pack creation.
So yes, everyone has -1 to disobey me.
Yeah. Well, everyone in the pack does.
Everyone in the
NPCs.
pack. Not everyone.
NPCs
Sorry, I meant the pack. I meant the important people.
Sure. Yeah. So the mayor stumbles back a bit, right? Like the mayor, absolutely taken aback a touch by the force of Serafina's order here. However, he kind of hardens his expression, turns to the townsfolk on either side of him and kind of nods, and they bring their kind of staff and their pitchfork up suddenly, in much more like clearly defensive modes, and he says, fume all you like, but the town of Ramsgate is closed to outsiders until after the Harvesttide Festival has passed. There are dark things stirring out there, and we just cannot take the risk. Now be gone, or we'll have to drive you away.
I think Brooke grabs Serafina by the arm and leans in. Serafina, I know that they are simply a lot of grass eaters, but you should not push them so hard. Even grass eaters can be dangerous when you rile them. And I am trying to dominate Serafina here because I can as the gray pelt into backing off from this conflict.
Wow, you do have that special ability, because you remember when everyone, even Serafina, was young. You can choose to attempt to dominate the alpha. So yeah, it sounds like you're leveraging your experience here to try and give this advice in a forceful fashion. Do you want to go ahead and make a roll plus teeth now?
Yeah, let's see here. That is an 8, and one of the main reasons I brought this in is that yes, okay, so I got an 8, so the situation is mostly under your control. NPCs will do as you ask, but half-heartedly, and may abandon an order if it becomes dangerous. Packmates get a -1 forward to disobey or current order. If they wish to attempt it, packmates who don't attempt to disobey can fill in a circle on the wolf/human track as appropriate.
Okay, so there's a carrot and a stick here, right? Like
Yes.
if you want to disobey this this order, this gray pelt advice, you would roll disobey at a -1. If you do go along with it, right? If you say I'm not going to try to disobey, I'm going to
I
heed.
understand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn and look at you, Brooke, with an eye that says, "Really?" And then shake my head and go, "Very well."
So
It's
what
not
do we
worth.
do? And that's Rena, your strongest
look-
packmate, the one
I
who
look-
is pulling the wagon, who's now looking between the two of you, trying to figure out.
We're going to have to make a camp. And I look around, and I say, "Where is Alice? Where is Absalom?"
And at that point, you hear a wolf howl from the middle distance, right? And
Pack to me and break for the woods. Leave the cart.
I follow after, saying like, "God damn it, we should have manacled her to the cart."
Yeah, I just say pack to me and break for the woods. I mean, immediately. And as soon as I hit cover,
Probably don't say pack too loud.
no, people to me. Presumably, my character has better habits than I do.
Yeah.
People to me and break for the woods. And as soon as I hit cover, I'm going to transform.
Yeah.
And sprint towards the hell.
Yeah. Cool.
And presuming that everybody else is coming.
I think they will.
I'm not looking back to see if anyone is. If they're not, I'll have words with them later.
Absolutely. So you're abandoning at this point, just abandoning the cart,
abandoning
road in front of the closed gate.
Yes, abandoning everything.
Yeah, cool.
Just run, because it's let the townspeople make of it what they will.
So the I think changing into wolf form is something that you can just do, right? But if you want kind of the mechanical bonuses of it, the game calls you to roll give in to the wolf. Are you giving yourself to the wolf here, Serafina?
Not yet.
All right. So
I'm changing to wolf so that I can run faster.
Cool.
But I am not going I'm not burying my fangs yet.
Sure.
I don't know, because I don't know what's happening.
Not all the way into your wild side. Sure. Then just give me a an image of Serafina in wolf form, barreling through the edge of the woods here. So we get that picture of her, lupine self.
Yes, well, Serafina, as the picture shows, is a wolf with short white fur, and an almost lion-like mane. Sometimes which if she spends time in wolf form, she likes to decorate with sprigs of berries and things like that. But right now she is running flat out, full heedless gallop, just bounding across the terrain as fast as she can, giving all to speed a thin, a thin run of spittle is running down your chin.
Okay. Yeah.
With the panting, panting, with the effort of going all out.
Yeah.
And her eyes are huge, and blue gray, and catch the light.
Amazing.
As she exerts, all of her ordinary senses to hone in on the call of on the howl, which is not difficult because it is made, of course, as a homing signal. But she wishes not to waste a second
Yeah.
in getting there, because she knows that no one in her pack would howl like that unless something terrible was happening.
And I think you are heeding Brooke's words, so you can feel free to mark XP even on your wolf pack, on your wolf path, because you've transformed now. So, Brooke, do you want to add any description of Brooke in wolf form making their way through the woods?
Yeah, I think that for Brooke, this kind of Brooke has it's kind of a mix, because I think Brooke has the experience of making the shift, so is quite good at it because I have the two feral. But I think at the same time they are just getting to the point where the shift is, like, if not difficult for them at their age, it's sort of more painful for them at their age. They can feel the cracking and reshifting of their bones and musculature, just acutely. And I think that as once I'm in wolf form, we can see like a little trail of blood drip out of my wolf mouth as I take off after Serafina.
Got it. Oh wow, cool. And Rena, comes charging along too, and as a human, she's big and broad. As a wolf, she's even bigger, right? Like she is a bear-sized wolf, just like barreling through, smashing small trees as she goes, right? And loving it, right? Like tongue lolling out of her mouth in like pure joy of getting to hunt with the pack. Let's back to Alice and Amsel, who were investigating a ship that had been cleft right right in twain, right, through the eyes, whole animal split in two. Alice had discovered that this was done with malice, right? Like something wicked had done this to this creature, and then stumbled onto the culprit. And it's this undead monstrosity, right? A two-headed, stitched together zombie, clearly the creation of necroalchemy. And this question in the chat, I would consider that a scene close. Yes, we moved from one arena to another. We're so. This lurching abomination is suddenly there, with its bloody cleaver, and it lets out two kind of discordant howls, discordant bellows, I suppose, from its when that's when Amsel starts to transform, and they let out this howl that the rest of the pack hears. Alice, what do you do?
I tell Amsel to run, and I transform.
Okay. In which order are you doing those things?
What?
I'm interested in which order you're doing those things, because I think it will matter a little whether you're kind of in human form, ordering Amsel to run as they are already wolfing out, or if you're wolfing out first and then doing that order from a wolf's maw,
Yeah, I'll tell her to run and when I'm a human, and then I'll change.
Cool. let's see. I think yeah, I think Amsel's is pretty pumped to fight this thing, so you might need to roll to convince them that that the discretion is the better part of valor here.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and roll plus teeth.
I did. I got an 8.
Cool. On a 7 and 9, the situation is mostly under your control. NPCs will do as you ask, but half-heartedly, and may abandon order if it becomes dangerous. / they've been away from you for too long. So I think that's exactly what that sounds like, right? Like Amsel's all ready to go, and then you say, no, run, right? And they kind of most of the way transformed, kind of like turn and look at you, and then kind of clearly like biting back some sort of rejoinder. They start slinking away, but not as fast as you wanted them to, right?
Okay.
The creature bellows and takes lopsided steps forward, blade like dragging on the ground and then lifting it up like it's ready to charge right after Amsel. But Alice, you said you are wolfing out.
Yes.
And are you giving in to the wolf here?
I think so, yes.
Sounds right to me. Go ahead and roll plus feral.
I got a 7.
Okay. You get to
choose one.
Choose one from the from this nice list of give into the wolf bonuses here.
Yes, I'm going to reduce my hearts by 2 and raise my teeth by 2.
Okay. Yeah. So you are entering battle mode here.
And
tell me a little bit about Wolf Alice, right? Like what does she look like now that she's in wolf mode?
Big, dark-skinned anthropomorphic wolf. Dark furred, I suppose. You can't really see the skin under the fur. Right.
Okay, so darker fur, it sounds like, than our our alpha and our gray pelt. Does anything like still mark you kind of as the spiritual center of the pack in this form, or is that more something that's apparent? That's something that's much more apparent in when you're wearing the human guise.
I think it's mostly in the human guise.
All right. Yeah. So you're there. Wolfed out. The smell suddenly hits you even harder, right? The formaldehyde and hatred that have both kind of curdled in this creature are more and more pungent to you as your wolf senses take over, and it kind of turns. It looks like one of its heads is still fixated on Amsel, but one of its heads is like taking notice of you as the primary threat. And so like there's a moment where it's almost literally torn between its two goals, and like the cleaver is kind of like wavering who's it going to attack first. So you have an opening if you care to exploit it for anything. Alice, what do you do?
I charge in to attack the monster and distract it.
All right. Distract it specifically because you want to keep its attention firmly away from Amsel.
That's right.
Let's look at mauling, which is one of our basic moves here. When you use physical violence in a situation, this includes attacking, defending, causing damage or injury. So it sounds like you're not aiming to destroy the thing. You're mostly aiming to distract it with your attack,
or inflict. I mean, hurting it is a kind of distraction.
Well, You can choose after the roll.
Yeah. Cool. Go ahead and roll plus teeth and tell me a little about like tell me a little about the I don't know, the tactic here, right? Like is Alice just trying to like leap onto thing and pull it down to the ground? Are you like attacking one of the heads, or what's your approach?
It's probably, I don't know, it's big, it looks kind of slow, just sort of charging in and just sort of keep circling and like biting and ripping off chunks as I circle it around, like staying out
Oh,
of its
nice.
reach.
Okay. So you actually don't want to like engage it in like a grapple. You're kind of harrying it as you go in for bites. Totally. Go and roll plus teeth.
I got an 11.
Choose 2 from that list.
I'm going to deal +1 harm and impress or intimidate someone.
Ooh. Are you hoping to specifically intimidate the creature, right? Or impress your packmates as they arrive?
Yeah, I'll impress my packmates as they arrive.
I like it. Dealing +1 harm. Cool. You are attacking with wolf claws teeth. That is 2 harm, and so with +1 harm, that's a total of 3 harm. And the so the creature lets out another bellow. This time not as much in kind of like rage and cruelty, but more in surprise and pain, right? That you are like really really harrying it and capturing all of its attention. Bits of it are coming off in your teeth. They taste disgusting, right? Flesh that has sort of semi-putrefied and then been artificially preserved and reanimated through unnatural science. But it swings its cleaver a couple times, and barely misses you, right? Like embedding it in the ground. It's interesting. The move doesn't say anything about taking harm in return, even on a 7 to 9. So
there's since one of the options is to take less harm, almost surely they mean an exchange of harm in the way of PBTA games generally. Wouldn't you think?
Right. I'm thinking
because otherwise that option would not mean anything.
No. That makes a lot of sense.
So it inflicts harm as established essentially.
I'm gonna
Alice
be
says +1 harm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a you rolled really well there. I'm gonna say it's it does just 1 harm with a glancing blow. Is that cool with you, Alice?
Sounds good.
Because you're really you're focused on kind of corralling it a little bit here. So you get like a small gash inside, but it doesn't. It's what it wants to do is just cleave you in twain. That's clearly this creature's whole purpose is cleaving things, and it just you're moving constantly and not giving it the chance to line that up. So you take the 1 harm. The creature takes 3 harm from your attack, and as you kind of land that, your packmates are charging into the clearing. Brooke, what's most impressive to you about Alice as you are taking in the situation?
Alan?
Alice, who's been attacking the creature, chose to impress her packmates and wanted to ask you what's most impressive to Brooke as you arrive.
Sorry, I missed my name there. I think Yeah, I guess what's most impressive is I want to say that I feel like that it's Alice's control over like I guess I feel like the kind of control that Alice kind of is emanating, like the kind of control over herself, maybe.
Right.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like that is like coming through to me.
Yeah, because this is very much not a like going full feral type attack. This is using some real intelligence to keep the creature at bay. Absolutely. And as you arrive, you know kind of hear a sort of whisper growl from Amsel, sticking their head around a tree, at the edge of the clearing where this is taking place, and they're like, Brooke, Alice said I had to run, but I don't want to miss out on the fight.
I growl at Brooke and not Brooke at Amsel and cuff them with one of my paws.
Oh.
And growl to make certain that they know that I am not going to let them be that fucking stupid.
Okay, great. Yeah, you don't have to roll for that. Just Amsel was going to check if they could get things countermanded, but if you're affirming what Alice,
don't go to the other parent when one says not to.
I mean, in point of fact, you often do, but it is important to present a united front. I agree. Mm-hmm. Great. So Serafina, you arrive to see one of your packmates keeping this monster at bay, right? But she takes a small wound from its wicked cleaver as it swings around. What do you do?
So this is a pack tactics kind of thing, and well, this may be simply a narrative, but Serafina's Serafina is going to try to set this thing up for a surprise attack by Brenna.
A surprise attack by Brooke, did you say?
No.
Oh, yeah. Renna, right. Yes.
Right, by Renna.
Your heavy hitter, absolutely.
Yeah, and Renna is either going to go for that to disarm the thing or go to like open an artery.
Yeah.
Bite at a leg artery and because it does have two heads, but even so, its attention can't be everywhere at once. And our big advantage is that we're a group.
Yeah.
So who's ever, so it's like, and the standard thing is, who's ever in front of this thing that's menaced by the weapon, keeps his distance, growls, fur bristles, barks and makes threatening little lunges and things like that, and then backs up hard, and when the thing charges, and then everybody behind it goes for it until the moment it turns around, whereupon you switch roles.
Yeah. Okay. So you're you're bringing the pack to bear here.
Yes.
Awesome. I am interested in having you roll that as an act on instinct, unless there's a alpha ability you're hoping to hit here.
Don't since speeches are not involved here, I can't use We Are Pack. So I don't have a particular alpha roll for this.
Let's just use act on instinct. That gives us flexibility.
Seems like an alpha thing to do.
Yeah. You're you're acting under a threat. You're using your werewolf abilities, and specifically the ability of being the alpha and being able to direct the other wolves. I'd love to see a roll plus feral.
Okay. Although the rewards for that are not that great, but I'll take it anyway. What the hell? Okay.
That's a 7.
Yes.
Nice. You do it, but the MC describes how the situation is not under your control. Yeah. So I think the distraction works perfectly, right? Like I think if you have the creature's attention divided, you are kind of darting around it, growling. You have each wolf in the pack fulfilling their part, and then Rena goes charging in, right? Like aiming for the kill. Like fastens her jaws around one of the thing's necks, and it, brings it stumbling back and smashes into a tree, and then the hand comes up with the cleaver. There's a swing, and you hear a like whimper from Rena. She keeps her jaws around the thing's throat, but like one of her arms has been cleft off and hit the ground. So she's still pinning it, but she's clearly in like dire straits herself.
Okay.
Brooke, you have the the chance to take in how this whole fight has developed and gotten suddenly bloodier. I'm interested. What do you do?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm interested. What do you do? Serafina has directed the pack. Managed to kind of put the creature on the ropes, right? Rena's got got her jaws around one of its necks, but she lost a limb in the process. It chopped off one of her arms, which is hit the floor, and she's kind of clearly kind of but by sheer force of kind of will and werewolfy aggression, staying on the creature despite the massive blood loss that she's definitely undergoing.
Yeah, I think it's at this point that Brooke lets out a howl that like just pierces through the night, and I am giving into the wolf.
Oh boy. Go ahead and roll plus feral.
That's a 13.
Okay. Wow. All right. Choose 2 from the list.
I am going to add 2 pack to the pool.
Nice. I'll go ahead and mark that on the pack sheet.
And I am let's see. Wait, there are. Okay, I see. Yeah, and I am going to reduce heart by 2 to increase my teeth up to 3 in case it needs be.
Yep. So you are entering battle mode as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are you charging right in from that, or kind of biding your time? What's the what does it look like Brooke's next step is?
Well, to double check the way we describe things, let me see here the names of the characters. Rena is still on the back of the creature, right?
I was picturing that she was basically on the front of it. That like
Oh,
she
the
kind of
front
like
of it.
leapt onto it, pushed it back, closed her mouth around one of its necks, and then like her arm got chopped, in the
Okay, cool.
process.
Just double checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am going to just try to rip out one of this thing's legs if she's on the top.
So it kind of to bring it stumbling down, so it
Yeah.
collapses. Yeah, that's mauling. Go ahead and roll with teeth.
That's an 11.
Choose 2 from the mauling list. And I'll say it's probably going to get a slightly more direct hit on you if you're right in there, trying to get its legs out from under it.
Yeah, I'm gonna deal +1 harm, and I think that I mean, I'd ideally like to, and let me know if this is asking kind of awkward. I'd ideally like to get Rena out of there before she gets herself killed. Could
Ooh.
I choose to knock Rena out?
Oh, fascinating. So like basically like like what do you think that I'm pretty open to this. What do you think that looks like? Is it that you're like
Like I
literally
think
like
as I
pulling her
send the
off the
creature
thing
like
and
tumbling back,
yeah.
like I then like kind of pull her off of it to like try to pin it down myself.
Yeah.
Like with my jaw, I like grab her and like toss her to the side.
I'm into that. So Rena gets like she was not expecting this kind of being pulled off the creature, right? So she's unprepared and goes stumbling away. Meanwhile, you like rip off the like scrawnier of the thing's 2 mismatched legs, and the whole thing comes collapsing down.
Yeah.
I think it like gets a jab in, right? Like drives its cleaver into some of the like meat of your side, Brooke. Yeah, take 3 harm.
Okay.
Take 3 harm, but the creature like looks essentially helpless now, right? Like it's it's still got whatever like spark of undeath is keeping it from being a mismatched pile of corpses, but it doesn't look like there's any fight left in it as it kind of like groans from its now prone position. Yeah, Serafina, you're the alpha. What do you do?
I do the coup de grace. I just tear its throat out. Tear a throat out. It doesn't really matter. It'll bleed out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and so it slumps, and the head that has a slightly more intact throat remaining kind of gurgles and then says the like only like discernible words you've heard this thing say, as it says, "All shall bow to the master of the grim castle." And then it expires again, back into the sleep of death. Whatever alchemy animated it is unable to keep doing so when the body has been so damaged, and it is fallen in front of you.
I'm going to turn to Alice and I'm going to bowl her over.
Yeah.
If you want me to roll dominating, you can, but otherwise it's just narrative.
Well, you need to dominate to do something. Like you need to like have like you need to give them a command when you dominate.
Yeah,
No, this
it
isn't-
sounds like
Yeah.
this is just a reprimand.
This is a reprimand, and this is and a yeah, this and a and I'm gonna pin her down, and I'm gonna glare at her, and then I'm going to go back human again and run over and do what I can to help with Brenna until
Yeah, I
Brooke,
mean, it also might just be mauling on Alice.
until I'm not gonna
yeah.
I'm not I'm
Mhm.
I might I'm not I'm yeah
Not there yet.
I'll bite her a little, but not to hurt.
Okay.
Okay.
So what? Yeah. So the key. I just
I'll
want to
bite
check
her
in
on
with.
the ear. I'll bite her on the ear a little bit after I knock her down.
Nice.
But
So
it's all in the matter of a cuff, a reprimand. It's just she's too big to cuff.
I think Serafina can do that. I think I just want to check in with Alice, right? Like, because the question is Alice just taking it, or is Alice kind of pushing back, right? Like, Alice, what do you do as you are physically reprimanded by the alpha here?
I can't hear you. Sorry, Kyle.
I'm going to turn human and get back up.
So you take it, and then you go human and just sort of dust yourself off.
Yes.
When you return to your human form, I think you get to heal some harm. If I'm remembering correctly, 3. So that's enough to get you back to the baseline. Yeah.
I'm going to revert as well. And I'm going to look to Brooke as I run over toward where Brenna is.
Yeah, I think Rook has only partially reverted back, and I think
come on, Brooke, we need you.
Yeah, I think that I like kneel down besides Rena, and I kind of my voice kind of comes out in a growling half wolf voice. We run and hunt together, Rena. This being heroic doesn't help anyone if it gets you killed. And I kind of draw on the power of the pack, and I think it like seeps almost like this blackness runs, like we see it like popping through my veins as I lay down hands on her and my claws sink into Rena's flesh. I am going to spend those 2 pack I generated to draw on the pack.
Nice. This is the way you can heal a pack member.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're spending the 2 that are there. Go ahead and roll.
I spent both. I got a 7.
Ooh. Okay. 7 to 9. They recover to the 7th phase, and I'm going to say that yes, that or actually, sorry, I need to read through this move carefully to see what we're doing.
So
that's to stabilize and
how,
revive someone. Yeah, how badly?
Fictionally, how badly was Rena injured?
She got an arm removed.
So probably 7 to 9 then is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, as far as like number of harm marked.
Yeah, so she is stabilized then, and that she is not going to die is what I'm seeing here.
Are you aiming to like reattach her arm, or is this just to get her get her kind of healed up so she's
I think on a 7 to 9, like maybe on a 10 I might have achieved that, but I think that it's just it's too bad, and I'm able to like stop the bleeding and seal the wound, but she's lost that arm.
Yeah. So it and I like the idea that like she also like kind of like she's kind of like groaning, right? And then like as the healing takes place, she also kind of reverts to human form, and so it's her in human form, kind of like cradling this kind of miraculously healed Stump, right? And then her arm, still in wolf form, is kind of like lying, even like twitches slightly on the ground. And why don't we take our first break here, and we'll pick up again to see what else comes up in the aftermath. Yeah.
Do we want to, just before the break, check in about hitting heartbeats and culture for that scene?
That makes sense to me. Yeah. Do you have something? Do you have something in mind to call out there?
Well, for myself, I was trying to hit parental with my interactions with Amsel as a wolf, and also I also invoked the pack culture of running to hunting together as wolves to try to get that last check on my wolf track.
I buy it. I think you did a good job hitting those. Alice, any heartbeats or pack culture you want to call out?
I think I was sacrificing by sending Amsel to safety.
Yeah, staying to fight solo, absolutely. Take that probably as a wolf path XP. And and Brandon, or rather Serafina, any XP?
Yeah, I had already hit protective, and I think reasonably I hit hard.
Yeah, administering that coup de grace.
Well, also hard with I'm not done with Alice.
Okay, yeah, but you're showing that you're
It's just I paused. I
going to be firm with your packmates too here.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, and it looks like that filled up the paths for you. So you can think about advances to take as we resume. Let's take a nice 12-minute break here and be back at 25 past the hour.
Okay.
All right. See you then.
I'm back.
Excellent. Stephen, thank you for helping keep track of some of the mechanical things like, marking ends of scenes and looking back over heartbeats. I appreciate that.
It's no problem.
Lost you for a moment there, Kyle.
Sorry, there's a back button on my mouse.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, hopefully Brandon will rejoin in a moment. And then I'm excited to just have the pack react for a moment to everything that's happened. See how people relate to each other in the aftermath of this more intense action scene. And Alice, you kind of yes. Hey, Brandon, welcome.
Hey.
I forget, how much do you heal when you revert?
3.
I think you heal 3. So I think all y'all are sitting pretty, and it's just poor Rena who's got real lasting damage here. Unless I misremembered how much harm I dished out, but I think I was maybe too soft, given that you've got that safety net. I'll have to keep that in mind. Cool. Yeah. So the it's I think it was evening, right, when our action began, and now it's it's well and truly night on Innistrad. The harvest moon is in the sky. You can all feel the pull of the wolf. So it takes a little concentration to be in human form now, but probably good to have as many of your wits about you as you can as you react to the way this all went down. Alice, you were reprimanded by the Alpha. I wonder if you do anything to step forward and explain yourself. If you go and talk to other pack members to make your case, or if you're just moving forward, not going to focus on that. But whatever it is you do, tell me a little about how Alice is taking all this.
Yeah, I think Alice will just sort of dust herself off and be like, "You're right, Serafina. I'm sorry. Here you were doing perfectly well by yourself, and then I sent in all the pack in with no plan and got one of them hurt. That was really a big mistake on my part."
Oof. That sounds like there's some sarcasm and defiance in there. does this rise to the level of making a challenge, do you think, or is it just a little mouthing off?
I think I'm just mouthing off, maybe provoking spill, but
Oh, when you do something to provoke a packmate to reveal how they really feel, roll plus heart.
Go for it.
I'd buy that as a provoke spill. Alice, go ahead and give that to me.
I got a 5.
Oh dear. On a 0 to 6, MC gets a hard move. Okay.
Okay. I know what part of the narrative is.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Serafina says nothing.
Oh, just that like dangerous silence here.
Yes. She just looks at you. Go ahead and take whatever hard move you want.
Yeah, I think
that's her reaction, her immediate reaction.
Yeah, I think Amsel runs up in between Alice and Serafina, and says, "This wasn't Alice's idea at all, Serafina. I dragged her along to check out this thing I smelled. It's all my fault. You don't need to be angry with her." And Alice, you know this is a lie, based on, because Amsel brought this to you and you said, "Let's go check this out," without alerting the others. But Amsel is lying, trying to cover her. And honestly, I think the lie is obvious enough that Serafina, you can tell Amsel's lying too.
Of course.
But Amsel is, taking the blame and saying, if anyone needs to be punished, it's me. Leave Alice out of it. Serafina, what do you do?
Alice. You went off into dangerous territory without even informing the rest of the pack that you were leaving. And we had to come rescue you too. And someone got hurt. If you think this is my fault,
another little groan from Rena.
If you think this is my fault, let's have it out right now. Make your move.
Are you sure you want another challenge when, you've got humans?
Alice? I'm sure.
You've got humans threatening your territory already, and whatever this Dark Lord, Grim Lord, whatever this guy is, you sure you want even more problems on your plate?
Are you offering to add to them?
I'm just questioning
because what you're doing is you're hurting pack solidarity. And so what I want to know is, are you sticking to that, or are you going to take it back? I'll give you this chance.
I'm wondering how we're going to help. Crap. Who lost their arm?
Rena.
I'm wondering how we're going to help Rena, because Brooke already did their thing.
Stop. That's irrelevant to what we are talking about right now. So I'm asking you, are you going to concede I was wrong, or are you going to make your move? Pick one.
Fine, if it's that important, you win.
Oh, man.
All right. And it is that important. Don't you understand, Alice, really? Do you honestly feel blameless in this?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Rena.
I thought you knew better. I really did. disappointed me.
Rena says, hey, boss.
How are you doing, sweetie?
It's it's line of duty and all that, and I'm real grateful for Brooke getting in there, but it's not worth fighting over what happened to me back there. Any of us could have got on the business side of that thing, and it's just the risks we take as a pack.
I want to take those risks as a pack.
Where's Call?
I think
I think
Brooke
he
lets
snuck
out
in.
another, God damn it.
No, I think he snuck into the human settlement. He
Smart.
knows. I saw him.
Maybe he's gonna open a back entrance for us or something.
Maybe. But I think, but he's safe at any rate. If I feel it.
Brooke, you think your human friend, the herbalist, would have anything else to, take the edge off here?
Probably, if we can get in. I need you to be tough right now. Okay.
I'm tough, boss.
Okay. No, I know you're tough. I know you're tough. You're good at that.
So Rena's putting a brave face on things. Amsel is looking completely crushed, right? Amsel tried to step in and take the blame, and Serafina just ignored it entirely, and had this moment of butting heads with Alice. So Amsel is just like drooping, metaphorical tail between legs. They've reverted to human form, but they're they're the youngest of this pack too, right? So like they're kicking at rocks, right? Like all of the body language of feeling underappreciated and overlooked. Brooke, you've taken in all of these dynamics playing out. I wonder, what do you do?
I look over to Amsel, and now Amsel, I'm not gonna say to you that I'm not gonna spend too long chiding you on the fact that listening to Alice was a stupid idea to do, because I think you know that by this point. What I am gonna ask you is why exactly you went off without letting any of the rest of us in the pack know. And I feel like I am trying to provoke spill here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just trying to get some realness out of
Like,
out of Amsel.
did anyone dominate you into it or something?
Sure. Go ahead and roll plus heart.
That's a 7.
Cool. Yeah. So they spill, and you choose either their response provokes you to spill as if they'd rolled a 10+, or they can opt to omit an aspect of the truth in their spill response, but you don't get the pack pool element of the spill move. So what'll it be? Do you want the whole truth that elicits the truth from you, or do you want them to be able to be a touch weaselly, but you don't get the
Nah, I'm gonna get the whole truth here.
Get the whole truth here. Great. Yeah. So like Absol's kind of like sniffing a little and says, I thought about asking everyone, but Alice said we could just check it out on our own, and I thought maybe I would impress you if I came back with something really interesting with her. If we found out about something that could help the pack. I wanted to prove I was useful, but instead totally useless. I didn't even get to fight. Alice made me not fight, and then you all fought, and then Rena lost an arm and got a cool scar.
You understand the difference, Ansel?
Is Serafina here to listen to this? I thought this was.
No,
I
no,
didn't
fine.
know.
Oh, if it's
Okay.
private, that's fine.
Yeah,
No, back off. Go ahead.
I think this was a Brooke and Amsel moment.
Because the
Sorry.
thing is, now I have a piece of information on Alice that Serafina at some point could provoke spell on, or
Yes.
that I could use against Alice. I'm
True.
just saying.
Yes. Okay. No, private comment. I misunderstood. So I said nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Amsel's sharing why they're hurting, right?
Yeah.
Amsel is talking about Alice, kind of pushing them to do this, and how they feel really disappointed in the overall result, and they're not getting the chance to really prove themselves to the pack. So ties, there aren't ties for NPCs, but I think there is a addition to the pack pool from the NPC spilling. So I'll go ahead and mark that. And then you're going to spill in return, Brooke.
Yeah, Amsel, I am proud of you, and I kind of give him this really awkward pat on the shoulder. Sometimes when you're not listening to Alice,
but I'm supposed to listen to all of you because you're all my elders or whatever.
Look, Alice is all right. She has her moments, but just between you and me, I think I praise every day the girl doesn't get herself killed. Look, it's just important to me that you youngins don't die doing something stupid. I spend more time than you can think about thinking about all the ways that you all could get yourself killed, and I want to make certain that I'm leaving this pack in a I haven't got long left, and I want to make certain I'm leaving this pack in an all right place.
What do you mean you haven't got long left?
I'm old enough that I practically wait. How long ago did the angel go mad?
Only a few years ago.
Okay.
You were all around for that.
I'm gonna say I'm long enough that I'm practically old enough that angel was in diapers when I was around Amsel, and
Amsel laughs a little at that.
So long, and look, all that matters is look, if Alice asks you to do something again, maybe just check in with me, all right? I'm sure that I could. I'm certain that I can keep the two of you on the straight and narrow. And I'm confessing my fear to what I'm afraid of.
You sure are. Add to the pack pool, and Amsel kind of sniffs and wipes their face and says, "You got to stick around, Brooke. I've still got so much to learn. I'm not ready to do everything you do."
Well, damn right you're not, and you're not going to get yourself killed, so I have to start all over with someone else, all right? And I kind of go back to my surly mode and grab my walking stick and say, "Damn," wandering off, going, "Damn stupid kids getting themselves killed over nothing," and I'm just mumbling off as I walk off.
Yeah, absolutely. Serafina, what are you up to?
I'm taking stock of the situation. So right now, it's dark, which is not a problem for us.
No. You've got your wolf senses.
But there's certainly nothing we can do regarding the human settlements until the morning. If they were frightened before, they'll be even more frightened now. But we have something we can bargain with now. So I'm going to, I don't know what happens to our stuff when we transform.
The game suggests not worrying about it because it
Okay,
doesn't
good.
it doesn't
Then
want
I'm
it
then
to have
I'm I'm
like
I then I
steal
then
clothes
then
off
I
laundry
there's a
lines
bag
or whatever.
there's a
So
bag or something like that.
yeah.
Handy. And I'm going to take one of the I'm going to put one of the creature's heads in the bag
Oh, got it. Yeah. Like just
because
are you like topping it off with its own cleaver?
oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah, it's got this huge cleaver I can scarcely
yeah.
lift, but maybe someone will help me. Um,
Rena goes like she's gonna help, and then like looks down at her missing arm and kind of you know. Yeah. But yeah, you know what? I
Alice,
think
help me have this head off, would you please?
yeah, Alice, do you help Serafina?
Sure.
This is something we. This is something we can. This is our ticket into the human settlement. If we can show that at least something of what they're afraid of has been dealt with for now. But I'm concerned with what this creature said. There's one thing I want to say, though, and that is if these things are in our territory, then we have to find out where they've coming from. And we have to make sure that this doesn't happen again. What were the words it used? Help me out here, Lexi.
Yeah, it said all shall bow to the master of the Grim Castle.
The master of the Grim Castle. Maybe the humans will know what that means, or have a story about it. I bet Lyra does. I think we need to find out who this master of the Grim Castle is, and prevent them from doing this sort of thing again. What does everyone think? This is our territory.
Calling a meeting, kind of
Yes, this is
opening the
our.
question up to everyone.
These are our sacred our cairn is at risk. Our woods might be infested by things like this or things worse than this, and I don't think we can. And then this cannot stand. Does anyone have anything to say?
Whoever they are, they sound tough.
Yeah.
Sure, it would be nice if we could bulk out our numbers some.
You know the rules on that, Ellis, as well as I do. And furthermore, that new werewolves are not worth much in a fight. How long did it take you or me to be of much more account than barking and snarling?
No one says they have to change. I mean, just people with spears or pitchforks who can be useful in the right place.
Absolutely. But it's likely, given their fears, that we're going to have to do the scouting.
And you'll be sad to say a little short-handed, boss.
No.
I don't know if I can take on another one of these, at least for a little while.
Nor should you for a while, but you're going to probably have to learn how to run three-legged for the time being.
Mm-hmm. She like takes that in. Amsel's like, I can fight. Put me in. I don't have to hang back. I can help.
Everyone's going to do what they're best at, and everyone's going to help. But does everyone agree this is a threat?
Amsel nods.
Alice.
Something coming disturbing the dead. Can't let that go on in our territory. I agree.
Alice?
Yes.
Okay. So I get to add 3 to the pack pool.
Is this we are pack?
We are pack. We have a mission. It's not clear 100% how we're going to carry it out, but we have to meet this challenge. And yes, Alice, you're absolutely right. Whatever help we can get from the humans, we will need, and more than need, which is a reason why we have to get in there and be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
But we need to talk to them. We need to know what they know, and we need to find out as much as we can find out without putting ourselves badly at risk before we make our move. So everyone think about that. And let's get some dinner. I'm starving.
So we want to say that the pack, hunts down some game, refreshes themselves with some food, stays out in the wilds for the night, setting sentries and whatnot, and then plans to approach the human town again in the next morning.
I think so.
Cool. Then I'm up for that. I'm up to say that we kind of, we montage over that. We see a little glimpse of the hunt, a little bit of of the the feast, right? Not the most kind of jovial feast ever, but still the pack eating all together, right? And then the sun on breaks late. The nights do keep getting longer, but the dawn does eventually break, and the pack is going to return to Ramsgate. Let's check in if there's heartbeats we hit, because that was definitely a full scene there that we went through. Alice, any of your heartbeats or I guess kind of pack customs that you think you got to strike there?
I don't think so.
All right, no worries. Brooke, how about you?
Maybe not even calculating there.
Okay, yeah, probably.
I'd like Alice to do a traditional howl thing just before we come to the humans, if you would, if you're interested, Kyle, which is to do a ceremony or prayer, inspire us.
I love it.
I was also wondering if Alice wanted to eat that arm.
Or at least take a bite of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take a bite. Yeah.
Cool. Let's do the other heartbeats, then check right in on that. Brooke,
I just figure we're starting a new endeavor here.
Yeah.
And getting the blessing of our ancestors on it, and any understanding we can is the best way to start.
Absolutely. Brooke, I feel like ending really came to the fore in that big interaction with Amsel.
Yeah, I marked human for that.
Sounds good to me. And Serafina.
I marked one for heart.
Yeah. As you're rallying the pack to take on this new threat.
Yes, I guess protective is more.
You also invoke the culture of us hunting together at the end of the scene for me.
Oh, it is true.
Yeah, and that could be wolf track because I bet that's how you approach the hunt. Absolutely.
Oh, during the full moon.
Yeah.
Anyone hunting on two legs is a rotten egg.
a real sheepskin.
Yes.
Yeah, Alice. You sounded like you're perhaps interested in applying your prophecy move to that fallen arm.
Yes.
And Renna will give you the okay on this. She's like, yeah, not doing me any good anymore. If you can give me any sort of a glimpse, I'll take it.
I'm curious if there's any ritual that surrounds this sort of thing. Alice.
I think there can be, but I think Alice is doing this largely in private with just her and Renna.
Okay.
So maybe the rest of us sit around at a distance with our backs to it as a way of showing that we are acknowledging that this is private. That for
Absol peeks over their shoulder like every 5 seconds.
Brooke is like
till
obviously, you know,
someone cuffs him.
yeah, exactly, pulling Amsel back to, you know, to look at the embers of the fire or whatever it is you're looking at, rather than peeking in on this moment of prophecy. Absolutely, yeah. So Alice, it's a roll plus teeth, and wow, and you get to just make the prophecy here. That's awesome. Go ahead and make the roll.
I don't think there's a roll.
It says roll plus teeth.
That's fascinating. It says roll plus teeth, and then there it doesn't say, you know, kind of tiered results for it.
Oh, that's right.
Let me double check the playbook itself to make sure that's not a something that got mixed up along the way.
It's not a wonderfully proofread book.
And yeah, I think the roll plus teeth thing got introduced in the character keeper creation. To be honest, I'm looking at the playbook and it just says you get to do the thing. So you get to do the thing, Alice. What's a prophetic statement about your packmate Rena?
I think it's a long-term prophecy about sort of like a vision of like a three-legged wolf in a pack, and like one by one they drift off until she's the only one left.
Oh wow! Suggesting Rena might be the last of you.
Mm-hmm.
There's like kind of, you know, little like tears in her eyes as she says, "But what does that mean? Does that mean everyone else will be gone and I'll still be here alone?"
It might. Everything changes. Everything dies eventually. Perhaps the pact will too.
Then who will keep safe my bones when I'm gone?
I don't see everything. I wish I did.
If you could eat more. You could. It's just like, you know, like holding the like arm out to you.
I'd like to keep as much intact as I can. We heal pretty fast. I'm pretty sure if we get this back reattached soon enough, it could take. I mean, I don't think. What?
You think that? But then I wouldn't be the three-legged wolf in the vision after all.
Ideally, although there's no telling if that would be enough to change our fate. Thing is, I think Brooke's done what they can. I think we might need to look up a hedge witch or a hedge healer of some type.
Tough one. None of them trust wolves. Says,
show me the way, Alice. All right, and like Rena's clearly like upset by the prospect of the vision, and like, you know, very very kind of enthused by this idea that the arm could be reattached. Partly, you know, like it seems like foremost in her mind is not just like having an arm again, but it's just definitely not being this like lone surviving wolf from the vision, because being left on her lonesome is something she really doesn't want. You get to mark a box of your choice on your wolf or your human path.
All right, I did that.
Nice. Yeah. So then I think the next kind of scene here is the dawn breaking. Once more unto the gates of Ramsgate. Serafina, are you just kind of leading your pack in human form kind of out from the woods to stand before the gate again? You know, this time with your bargaining chip or your trophy to show? Like any other details to add about the entrance there?
We're well, we look a little bit the worse for wear. I mean, obviously,
One of
Brennan
you's
most
missing an
all.
arm. For one.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll bandage up Brenna's arm.
Yeah.
So that it's not too strange looking. Yeah, we're going to approach again.
Yeah.
And bang on the gate.
And there's a kind of flurry of activity on the other side of the gate. Many people like whispering to each other, and someone who was clearly clearly like tasked with holding the gate says, "I'm sorry, no admittance to anyone but the townsfolk."
Because there is a terror out there who's been attacking your livestock. Yes.
Not just a terror, a monster from the grave, cleaving things right in half.
Yes, this monster, I say, and I pull the head out.
The people gasp, and someone says, "Somebody get the mayor." And I am up to maybe call our second break here. I think this will get you in. So I think when we come back from the break, we'll see the pack within the walls of Ramsgate. So let's take 10 and be back at 13 past the hour. All right. Hello, hello. So, ready to drop back in? So, yes, it's morning in the town of Ramsgate. The people are all a flur and a stutter that these tinkers, these tradespeople that have, sometimes come to town before and were turned away last night have arrived again bearing the head of this horror. I think you're kind of pulled along into the central square of the town, and the mayor has come bustling out. The mayor's name is Delmond, by the way. I've given him a name now, and Delmond says, yes, such wild stories whirling round that you killed this creature, or you came upon its corpse. I guess it was always a corpse, the unnatural thing. But and we heard the howling of wolves too. Were there werewolves out in the woods as well?
We don't know. We saw wolves, and this thing was fighting a wolf pack, and they scattered at our approach. They had managed to damage it somewhat, and we were able to surround it and pin it down and finally kill it. It took a lot of doing, and unfortunately it was incredibly strong, and one of us was badly hurt.
You slew the monster.
We felt that if there was a terror out there, that we needed to deal with it before it dealt with us. Better that we should try to catch it unawares. We have to make what in the spaces between. We make our we have to support ourselves by hunting and trapping. We're not incapable when it comes to dealing with prey animals, even enormous ones like this. And while it was colossally strong, it was not especially fast.
Yeah, so there are kind of whispers of both of admiration and disbelief, right?
Yeah.
In
and of course we do have weapons in the cart and things like that. So I presume to for show and tell.
Right. To
so people don't think it's like, oh, these people are wandering through dangerous woods completely unarmed.
Sure.
We're armed as much as travelers are normally armed in Innistrad.
Yeah, and you've got your holy symbols, though upon close examination, it could be seen that they are not traditional holy symbols.
Well, we are, we're from a different part of this
of the countryside.
Yes, local customs.
Yeah, so there are some townspeople, hearing this account who are just full of admiration and gratitude, and there's others who are kind of furrowing their brows with skepticism, right? And the mayor seems pulled in different directions. He says, if this is the case, then the whole town owes you a debt of gratitude. But
so you do, and an apology, perhaps.
Well, he kind of ignores that for the moment. He says, "It seems so nigh miraculous. We sent our best huntsmen, and the creature sent them back, barely alive."
Maybe you were just luckier than your best huntsman. I say, giving with my demeanor suggesting otherwise.
Oh man, I'm trying to decide if there needs to be a move to sell this, or if I'm up to just have this be how it goes. Right?
I'm not buying or asserting anything. I'm
yeah, you're not
just echoing back what they said. Pretty much.
Right. So you're not really trying to dominate him, just to kind of put forward your story and
Yes,
do it.
just express my like just get back at him a little bit for keeping us out.
Yeah. Oh, I think honestly, this is kind of perfect, right? Because now we're doing like human interaction, and what you could really use is your fixer, but
Yes,
he has
yes.
not appeared yet. So
Yes,
I
I have
think
a feeling that I know where he is, which is in bed with that wench.
the mayor's daughter, you mean?
Yes.
Perhaps time will tell. But I'm up to say that like the like the town's attitude is like torn, right? Like you have been welcomed in, but there are like more kind of skeptical mutterings around the edges of this group, and so perhaps when your fixer is available again, he can try to make the whole situation more more positive. But the mayor kind of ultimately kind of like nods when you say, perhaps we just got luckier, and says, the angels smiled on you indeed, I suppose. Well, you are welcome to trade with the good people of Ramsgate, and I'm sure we can find a good place for you to stay during your commercial dealings. Yes, and he kind of he's bustling off to kind of tell someone that they're going to have to make up a guest room, right? And the people of Ramsgate are all around you, kind of looking with a mix of curiosity and hero worship and perhaps a touch of fear. Brooke, what do you do?
I roll my eyes at the mayor and these townsfolk, and I take my walking stick and make my slow way over to Lyra's place.
Yeah, absolutely. Herbalist and citizen of Ramsgate, someone who has dealt with you before, though obviously she doesn't know your secret because humans are not allowed in on your secret. So she merely kind of looks up from tending the herb garden around her cottage and says, "Brooke, you've returned. I heard a commotion from the center of town. It sounds like you and your traveling companions have been heroes of the hour."
Yeah, something like that. And you got a place to sit? I've been standing too long, and it's hard on my knees. And
she'll brush some.
like, yeah,
or
ahead.
She'll gather up some herbs that were laid out on a stump, right? And she'll like put them on a patch of stony ground so that the stump is available as a seat.
Thank you, Lyra. I have to say, last time we were through here, there wasn't quite so much. Well, I don't quite recall these two-headed zombie looking things wandering around the place.
Well, we've been through many travails in the recent years. We hoped, well, after everything with Archangel Avacyn, perhaps we'd have a season of peace to catch our breath, and then the killing started. Livestock first, but then unwary travelers who ventured too far from the walls of the town.
Yeah, sigh. The one thing I know about peace is if you think you have it, you just aren't looking hard enough.
She kind of she gives a grave nod. But perhaps at last some peace has been achieved. if the creature truly has been destroyed.
And yeah, don't expect that will be the last thing we see of things like that. You hear about and I say the name of the place, but I'm forgetting that the creature mentioned.
The Grim Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll nod. She'll say, "The Grimm family used to lord it over this part of the countryside. Their castle is in the mountain. She'll point towards the like single kind of notable on the on."
I give a little like resigned sigh. That's gonna be an awful lot of climbing.
Sorry,
Let me try reconnecting. Sorry.
Hello, can folks hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey. Okay. There's some kind of technical hiccup getting in the way here. Am I coming through okay, or with a delay, or anything like that?
No, it's fine. You had just talked about the Grim Castle up in the mountains. She pointed off. I gave a resigned sigh and said that's going to be an awful lot of climbing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So I'll basically what you get from Lyra is the Grimm family, Grimm, right? Used to be the the rulers of this place, and then they fell into gothic disrepair, right? There are all these terrible rumors about what the last heirs of the Grimm family were up to in their castle, whether they had become vampires or made pacts with demons, or what things they were dabbling with. And then last anyone saw, the castle itself seemed to break apart and crumble into a mere ruin. No one's heard from the Grimm family since then, and that was a score of years ago. And that's Lyra's able to relate all of that to you as the the lore that the townsfolk know of.
Yeah, I nod. As much as I'd like to think that this is the last bit, I can't say that more trouble isn't going to be headed your way. If I were you, I would. Lyra, you're the healer here. You've got sway among these folks. I know you've got a little patch of rock cap. I think you need to get any of the able-bodied folks here in town. Go out and make certain the rock cap is planted around any graveyards beyond the town walls. That sort of place when necromancers are about. They're you don't want to leave them
Raw
untended.
material.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sighs. It feels almost like disturbing the dead to accelerate their decay like this, but of course there are far worse ways to be disturbed, and I would choose this myself if I had to. So she's I think up to go along with this. Let's see. Anything? Were you hoping to do
Brooke
anything
was,
else here?
Like Brooke got the information. I delivered my warning to her and advice. If she's willing to go along with it, I think that's just the scene end there.
Yeah. You know what? I want to add a button to this. She's like, and Brooke, just
Cool.
a word to the wise. You seem perhaps to have more caution than some of the others in your traveling band. Tell that young man, that call to stay away from the mayor's daughter. That will only end in tears.
God damn it! That boy never could not poke his nose into a beehive. And I stand up and kind of make my way out.
Yeah, absolutely. Alice, what are you doing in town?
I'd like to take Rena to a healer. Would that herbalist be the best one in town, or?
Yeah, Lyra would be the person you'd turn to. I think there's I think the scene opens on Rena in the inn of the town, kind of like quaffing some tankard of ale, right, that's been offered to her, and she's like relating the story that Serafina told about taking down the monster, but like she's added additional embellishments to it, right? There's a bunch of villagers gathered around, like listening raptly as she's telling for the umpteenth time the story of taking down the monster and how it took her arm, and every time she's told it, it's gotten more kind of heroic, right? And there's been more kind of over the top action in it, and yeah, she's she's clearly like reveling in the attention, but also becoming more and more unsecret, right? Like she's making it sound like she was like grappling with the creature, which of course would be impossible in her human form.
I think I come by, like, put a hand on her shoulder and be like, all right, I think you've had enough now. Maybe time to walk it off.
Oh, come on, Alice, join the fun. Someone get my friend Alice something to drink. Alice, you have to tell about your part. You were harrying the thing before the rest of us came, and then, like, she's slurring slightly, but not being like very committed to the whole "we were humans" story, right?
Yeah, I think Alice is like, oh yeah, I was holding him off single-handedly, and him and 50 of his friends with my left pinky. Now, come on, Alice. We wanted to get a healer to look at that arm of yours.
Yeah. You might have to dominate her to pull her out of this scene.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'll do that.
Go ahead and roll plus T.
8.
Okay. Yeah, NPCs will do as you ask, but half-heartedly, and they abandon an order if it becomes dangerous / they have been away from you for too long. So she'll like they, okay, fine, yes, take a look. Perhaps we can, they could get the arm back, be fighting fit to take on a dozen more of these, right? She says, she kind of finishes coughing the drink, slams it down the table, gets like unsteadily to her feet, and like nearly like knocks over the table as she does so. She's not being like good about like concealing her werewolf strength here, right? Like there's you do pull her away, and then you see the like kind of dent in the wooden board of the table where she was like leaning heavily on it, which is not something that a human would necessarily be able to do, but she will kind of come like stumbling after you to go to see Lyra. Alice, have you hung on to Rena's arm?
Yes, I think I've got it bundled up in my bag.
Got it. So that's part of this. Part of your hope is that perhaps it could be reattached.
Yes.
Of course, it's still in its wolf form.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Rena comes like stumbling after you, like kind of still like muttering a little bit. they love me in there. I should lose a limb more often fighting off the monstrosities of.
And I think I'll just sort of keep like bustling her along until we get into the herbalist's place.
Cool. Yeah. So like Lyra, had this conversation with Brooke earlier in the day, and then suddenly, two more of the Tinker's band turn up on her doorstep. She's like, Alice, right? And and you must be poor Rena, who was injured by that monster.
That's right. And I'd like you to reattach her arm. And I put the wolf arm on the table.
So I think I actually should note here, you have to actually roll to
Disobey.
disobey a
okay.
tradition. So
which this
Yeah.
is.
yes.
You can't simply get Lyra killed. Because that will be the result of what you are doing.
I mean, I feel like first off, you're disobeying by sharing the secret, and then depending on how all of this unfolds, there may be more disobedience called for if the tradition, the sharp end of the tradition, gets pointed at her. So let's start with that disobey roll, because you are resisting the traditions of the pack in order to try to help a packmate here. So you roll plus guts.
Oh, actually, in that case, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the rules. I'd like to try to convince Rena to, to break the rules and ask the healer for help, because I'm better at convincing other people to do it than doing it myself.
Oh, so we're rewinding slightly. Instead of you pulling out that arm, you are telling Rena, like, this is the only way. Okay. Tell me one more thing about what that convincing looks like.
Just talking about how, like, this is going to be a big fight. The pack's going to need everyone at top form, and we can let a few minor traditions slide for the good of the pack. It's what we need to do.
Yeah, and Rena's like, and with if I have all my limbs, I'm not the three-legged wolf who's left all on her own from the prophecy.
Exactly.
All right. Yes. So
does the -1 still hit?
It's because this is
no,
a special.
That's
this is a special howl move.
only disobeying the leader.
I see what you're saying.
It's not to disobey traditions, because other characters can dominate each other, and you can try to disobey them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So state of the pact is
Gotcha.
people getting -1 to disobey you.
Fine.
What's happening right now is Alice is hitting her silver tongue move. When you attempt to persuade a packmate to comply with or ignore a tradition, disobey or obey the alpha, or challenge the alpha, roll plus heart. So in this case, you are convincing Rena to ignore the tradition. Roll plus heart to see how that goes.
I got a 9.
Okay. On a 79. If the packmate is an NPC, they do what you want, but with a complication. Welp. Sure. So we're gonna. I think we're gonna like play this out as a mini montage here, right? Like, so like Rena like listens to your words, kind of like nods along. It's like, okay, yes, this is what we have to do. And so like when you're there talking to Lyra, you're saying we need healing help, and then like Rena like takes the burlap sack, right, and like unrolls and is like, I need my arm back. Lyra's staring down at this like wolf arm, ending with the claw. And she says, angels above. So that's how you took down the monster.
We protected the town.
You did. You may have saved us. But this is a great secret to be entrusted with. I hope you understand. My neighbors won't be happy if they know I've kept something like this from them.
True. Is there any way we can make up the risk to you?
She says, go to the castle and be certain that nothing is going to come from there to threaten this place. I told your midwife everything I know about it. If there's something building these monsters, that's where it'll be.
I'll see it done.
And yeah, so she will say, drink this, right? And like begin like a complicated process of ministering to Rena, right? Where she's got a number of different herbs and things. And then, Alice, you can be there for some of it. You might be, pacing outside for parts of it, right? As she is, using, every ounce of her kind of herbalist craft and like the bits of superstition she knows to try and, reattach this arm. And in the end it works. We see like Rena standing there with like two hands in front of her, and then her newly reattached hand kind of like trembles and like shifts to be more wolfy, and she like concentrates and it becomes slightly more human, but she can't get it like quite all the way human. So she's got the arm back, but she can't make it look totally human anymore. Yeah, Alice, do you say anything to Lyra and Rena at the conclusion of this?
Thank you. The pack is grateful, but we'll keep our gratitude discreet.
The pack, says Lyra, repeating. I see. Yes, I think discretion is the order of the day for all of us. Serafina, do you want to add any details about what you're up to in town during this day?
Yes. What I believe that Serafina would be talking to whoever seems the most receptive, which might be the mayor, but I think it's more likely to be actually the huntsman in the town.
Oh yeah,
who might know about where this the Grim Keep is, or where it's reputed to be.
Yeah,
and I'm going to work on one of them to see if we can get a guide.
Oh, totally cool. Yeah. Trying to cultivate a guide for this. I almost want this to be harness the wolf, right? Because you're essentially trying to find out information here, and
Sure.
and pretty close to the question, where is the trail from the harness the wolf questions.
So sure, if I can send it to the Grim things to some degree, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it says when you use your wolf senses and instincts in either human or wolf form. So if we just say that some of your your hunting prowess is coming through as you work the huntsman and recruit a trustworthy guide, and attempt to recruit a guide who will be trustworthy, I'm up to have you roll plus feral to harness the wolf as you make your investigation.
Not today.
Oh dear, is that a 5?
It's a 5.
My
feral's a 0.
And is there any pack left in the pack pool? Oh, but it's you have to be working together with.
Yes, the most I could have is Amsel here, and that doesn't really count.
Yeah, so I think you're among the huntsmen, kind of making your pitch, trying to find someone to help you. Everyone seems to get like a little like quiet and squirrely when you bring up the idea of the Grim Castle, and then there's a loud knock on the gates of the town, right? And people around you kind of reach for their knives or ready their bows, because this is unexpected, and if you go with them and look through to see what's turned up at the
Sure.
the gates of Ramsgate. There is a, perhaps someone who looks like a more accomplished hunter than any of the ones near you, wearing not kind of forest green, but the white of the Church of Avacyn, and with 2 large crossbows slung across his back, and a pair of silver swords at his side, and he says, "My name is Inquisitor Ferric. I heard this town had a monster problem. I'm here to solve it for you." And he smiles a big smile, and you see the silver caps on his teeth. And that might be our cliffhanger for this session.
Sure.
Let's check in about heartbeats, if any more were hit in our last scenes here. Serafina, any other heartbeats to or pack kind of customs to flag for XP?
I've certainly have some setup for that, but no, I don't think so.
No worries. Brooke, anything you want to flag that we didn't touch on already?
No, if it did, I already flagged it in chat.
Cool. And Alice, I feel like we did hear some calculating there.
I think so.
Nice. And does that fill you up on experience?
Yep.
All right. So think about what you want to do. There's increasing stats. There's taking more moves from your playbook or taking moves from other playbooks. And anybody else who clocked in advance, feel free to think that over between sessions, or let me know what you're going with for that. But nice work on those tracks tonight. All right, so we'll be back next week with more Innistrad Howlpack, and hopefully bringing our fixer back into the mix and finding out a little about what exactly he was up to. Till then, thanks for joining us, anybody who's tuned in, and stay safe out there.